You open your banking app. It's 3 days before payday. You swipe down to refresh the balance, and your stomach does that little flippy thing. You've got $43 left until Friday. You scan the transactions. Coffee here. Takeout there. A subscription you forgot existed. And you think to yourself, I wasn't even being crazy this month. Where did it go? So you do what we all do. You make a silent promise. Next month, I am going to sit down. I am going to build a real budget. I am going to track every single latte. But here is the psychological time bomb. Deep down, you already know you won't. Not because you're lazy, but because the image in your head of a real budget looks like a miserable Tuesday night with a spreadsheet, a calculator, and a lot of guilt. So here is the surprising truth for 2026. The people who are actually building wealth, they aren't tracking every latte. In fact, the most effective budgeting system for the human brain requires almost zero willpower, and it takes about 10 minutes per month to set up. I'm going to show you the low-effort system that actually works, not because it restricts you, but because it tricks your brain into saving automatically. Let's talk about why normal budgeting fails. The traditional advice says you need to tell your money where to go. You've heard it a million times. Create a line item for groceries, a line item for entertainment, a line item for clothing. And on paper, that sounds responsible. It sounds like being an adult. But here is the psychological reality. The human brain hates restriction. It really hates restriction. When you create a detailed budget, you are essentially building a cage for your spending. And the moment you see a cage, your inner rebel starts looking for the door. Psychologists call this reactance. It's that feeling when someone tells you not to push the red button, and suddenly all you want to do is push the red button. When a budget tells you, you only have $40 left for restaurants this week, suddenly, a burger sounds like the most delicious thing on planet Earth. And then what happens? You overspend by $5. Just 5. But in your head, you've already failed. The budget is broken. So you say, well, I messed up. I'll start again on Monday. And then Monday turns into next month. And next month turns into next year. This is the perfection trap. We think a budget has to be a precise instrument, like a scalpel. But for most people, a detailed budget is actually a diet. And diets don't work because they rely on willpower. And willpower is a limited resource. By 8 p.m. on a Thursday, after a long day of work, your willpower is gone. That is not a character flaw. That is biology. So if detailed budgets fail because they demand too much daily effort, what is the opposite? The opposite is a system that runs on autopilot. A system that respects your laziness. A system that works even when you are exhausted, stressed, or scrolling on your phone at midnight. Let me introduce you to the system. I call it the anti-budget. Or, if you want to sound fancy at a dinner party, it's a form of reverse budgeting. But really, it's just a 3-number system. Here's how it works. Instead of tracking where every dollar goes after you spend it, you decide where your most important dollars go before you even see them. And you only have to decide 3 numbers. Your fixed costs. This is rent, mortgage, utilities, internet, minimum debt payments. The boring stuff you have to pay to exist. Your savings and investments. This is your future self's money. Your retirement account, your emergency fund, your house down payment, your investments. Everything else. This is the guilt-free spending money. Groceries, coffee, movies, clothes, takeout, gifts. Now, here is the psychological magic. Most people try to budget by controlling number 3. They say, I will only spend $400 on groceries. But life is unpredictable. Eggs get expensive. Friends invite you to dinner. Your kid needs new shoes. Controlling number 3 is like trying to hold water in your hands. It leaks. The anti-budget flips the script. You do not control number 3. You automate number 1 and number 2. And then you give yourself absolute, no questions asked permission to spend number 3 on whatever you want. Let me say that again because it sounds scary. You give yourself permission to spend the rest. No tracking. No guilt. No spreadsheets. But wait, how is that a budget? How does that build wealth? The answer is hiding in number 2, your savings rate. If you automate your savings first, before you can touch the money, your brain adapts. This is a psychological principle called hedonic adaptation. Humans are incredible at adjusting to whatever income they have. If you get a raise, within 3 months, that extra money feels normal. If you automate your savings so that you only see 80% of your paycheck, within 2 months, your brain will recalibrate. You will live on the 80% as if it were 100%. Let me give you a simple example. Meet Sarah. Sarah makes $4,000 a month after taxes. A normal budget tells Sarah to track every coffee. Sarah tries for 2 weeks, feels like a failure, and gives up. Sarah saves maybe $200 a month on a good month. The anti-budget removes the decision entirely. You only have to make one decision per month, or even per quarter. What is my savings percentage? That is it. After that, the system runs itself. You are not a bad person for not wanting to micromanage your money. You are a normal human being with a limited amount of mental energy. Here is another psychological insight. We think wealth is built by deprivation, by saying no a lot. But actually, sustainable wealth is built by automation, by removing the need for willpower altogether. Think about your health. The fittest people are not the ones who wrestle with the decision to go to the gym every morning. They have made it automatic. They lay out their clothes the night before. They go to bed early. The decision is already made. The same is true for money. The wealthiest people are not the best budgeters. They are the best automators. There is a famous study about the psychology of saving. Researchers found that people who automatically enroll in their 401k at work save 4 times more than people who have to opt in manually. 4 times. Not because they are smarter, not because they earn more, but because the decision was made once, and then the system took over. They didn't have to be strong every month. They just had to be strong one time. That is the secret. You do not need more discipline. You need fewer decisions. So, let's get practical. You are watching this video on your phone or your TV. You want to start this system today? Here is your step-by-step plan for the next 48 hours. And I promise, it will take less time than scrolling through Instagram. 1. Calculate your after-tax monthly income. Look at your last paycheck. Multiply it by how many paychecks you get per month. If you get paid every 2 weeks, multiply your paycheck by 26 and then divide by 12. That is your monthly number. 2. List your fixed costs. Rent, mortgage, car payment, minimum debt payments, insurance, utilities, phone bill. Do not include groceries, gas, or fun money. Only the bills that are the exact same amount every month or the minimum required to survive. 3. Choose your savings percentage. This is the most important number. If you have never saved before, start small. Do not try to save 50%. You will fail and feel bad. Start with 10% or even 5%. The goal is consistency, not intensity. 10% of your income saved and invested for 20 years with an average stock market return becomes a massive pile of money. Massive. Time is your friend. Perfection is the enemy. If you already have some savings, aim for 15 to 20%. If you are a super saver, go higher. But be honest with yourself. The right percentage is the one you will not notice missing after 2 months. 4. Do the math. Take your monthly income. Subtract your fixed costs. Subtract your savings percentage. What is left? That is your guilt-free spending number. That number is yours to spend on anything, with no tracking, no guilt, no spreadsheets. 5. Automate everything. Log into your bank account or your HR portal at work. Set up an automatic transfer. If your job offers direct deposit, send your fixed costs and your savings to different accounts. Better yet, send your savings to a completely different bank. An online bank that is harder to transfer money out of instantly. This is called a friction layer. You want it to be easy to put money in and hard to take money out. 6. The 1-hour rule. Here is a bonus psychological trick for your guilt-free spending money. For any purchase over $50, wait 1 hour before buying it. You can still buy it. You have permission, but just wait 1 hour. In that hour, the dopamine rush fades, and you will know if you actually want the item or if you were just bored. This is not a restriction. It is a pause button. And finally, here is the most important step. Do not check your bank account every day. I'm serious. When you have a low-effort system, checking your balance every day is like watching grass grow. It creates anxiety. It makes you second-guess your system. Check once a week, or even once every 2 weeks. Just enough to make sure nothing fraudulent is happening. So let's close this loop. Remember the beginning of the video. You were 3 days from payday with $43 left, feeling like you were failing at being an adult. That feeling is not because you are bad with money. That feeling is because you were trying to use a tool that fights against your own psychology. A detailed budget asks you to be a robot. You are not a robot. You are a human with cravings, tired nights, and unexpected expenses. The low-effort system for 2026 accepts that. It works with your laziness. It works with your desire for convenience. It protects your future self automatically, and then it gives your present self complete freedom to enjoy the rest. The only thing you have to do is set up the dominoes. Once they are set up, gravity does the rest. So here is your thought for the day. Stop trying to control every dollar. That is a recipe for burnout. Instead, decide on your savings percentage one time. Automate it. And then forgive yourself for buying the coffee. Because the coffee is not the problem. The lack of a system is the problem. And now, you have the system. If you found this useful, the next video on this channel is going to show you exactly where to put that automated savings so it grows while you sleep. We are talking about index funds, Roth IRAs, and why 2026 is actually a great time to start investing. You do not want to miss that. Click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It takes 2 seconds, and it is the only low-effort action I will ask you to take today. See you in the next one.